I think part of this though, I think it's an interesting observation because I think with the introduction of so much technology, I think there's a new generation of folks who are more comfortable with technology than they are understanding the nuances of the field, right? And I was
Yes.
in
Yeah.
that boat. And
Yes.
so I would find myself much more comfortable behind a screen interacting with, BIM 360 plan, trying to look at the last planner methodology of how we're going to get a milestone than actually walking with the foreman and challenging constructability ideas like that. I could never do that. And so I think there is technology has become like a buffer that gives maybe some folks a safe space for them to be on the job, but not necessarily interact with the job in that same way.
Know their
Oh,
job.
it's
Yeah.
it's a whole lot more difficult to challenge somebody face to face than it is
Yeah.
over a screen.
Oh yeah, we know that.
There's one more too. There's a little bit the Twitter effect
Yeah, that's right.
of project interactions.
It, Steve, I hear you. I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I guess what I believe we're in this sort of like what's it norming or storming, norming, and forming like stage
Hmm. Yep.
where we did exactly what you just described for so long, and it worked really
And,
well.
and think about those relationships that you had on site on those days.
They were real. I believe they were they were very transparent. That you get bloodied up together. You're in there solving problems, aligned interests, skin in the
I,
game.
I
You
was
were
on the
just
job site this week, okay, and I'm walking with the electrician because a couple of things weren't quite per the plans, right? And I'm going, okay, you've taken down this far. I said, why don't you just do this instead so we can get closer to the plan and still accomplish what the goal of the plan was,
sure the
right?
intent.
He was just over the moon happy to help
Yeah,
because he didn't have to go back and rip everything that he had done
right.
out
Yeah, make it work.
to make it work, right?
Yeah,
Those interpersonal relations. Now, I guarantee you, if I asked him, I said, "Hey, man, I need to make one more outlet right over here. You can tap off of this." You think he'd hit me with a change order after I just helped him?
no, no, because you helped him.
Yes.
Yes.
But here's where I think another perspective is I think we have these isolated pockets of excellence in the industry, right? Where these kinds of relationships are created and matured, but they're very personnel related, right? Like I
Yes.
would love to work a job where you're the owner, Steve.
Yes.
Like I think that's obvious. But we've all worked in the jobs where the opposite of Steve Little was present,
Hmm.
and so each of those interactions creates scar tissue in
It
terms of
does.
how we interact with each other.
Correct.
And so I think like I don't think there's and I don't think you're trying to do this, but like there's not we can't necessarily glorify the past, but I think there is something to take from the past and maybe just your experience in how we create and I think it's culture, right? It goes all goes back to culture and leadership.